Most SwiftUI onboarding flows are overbuilt. Too many views, too much state, too many dependencies. In this video, I will show you an Apple-style onboarding built in under 100 lines of pure SwiftUI. No libraries, no hacks, just clean structure, smooth transitions, and native feel. We'll cover paging, progress indicators, skip logic, and a polished finish, the kind that actually feels at home on iOS. So let's build it. Apple's onboarding screens are simple yet powerful, and today I'm going to show you how you can build exactly the same inside your own app. So this is what we are going to build out. This is our onboarding. You can just swipe, go back, or just hit continue right over here on the button. You can just go also back, and at any stage you can just skip and get to the last slide. Now this is of course a demo one with demo text and all of that, but you can just add in your own. This is what we are going to build out. I have prepared here a starter project and we're going to get into the code right now. Now before we go into the code, I just need to create a new view over here. I'm just going to call it onboarding view. Why not? New empty file, onboarding view, and let's just create that. Import SwiftUI. Let's create a view. Oh, it's not auto-completing. Okay, let me just type that out myself. Struct onboarding view. And, we just have a simple view over here, which we are going to override, of course. We can safely disregard the content view. And what I'm going to do is just replace the content view with the onboarding view inside the app file. Okay, so onboarding view, this is where we are going to work. So let's have a little bit more space. First of all, we need to create a struct that is the onboarding page. So I'm just going to do that before the onboarding view. And it will be a struct. It's not going to be a view, sorry. I just hit a tab over here. It is going to be identifiable. And it will have let ID equals UUID. And then the title, let title type string. Let subtitle, and then the system image name. So let system image. There we go. And it will be again of type string. Really straightforward, what you can already see right over here. So this is the title, subtitle, and the system image. Okay, so let's get into the onboarding view. First of all, we need to know if the onboarding has finished. So we are going to create an app storage. I would just name this a little bit differently. So did finish onboarding private var did finish onboarding, and by default we are going to set it to false. Great. And these pages will have indexes, so I'm just going to create a state variable which will hold our current page index state private var index, and the first one is of course a 0. Now we do need some data which are already prepared right over here, so I don't have any typos. I'm just going to copy that out and just paste it in there. Let's indent it a little bit. So we have these 4 onboarding pages with, the title, subtitle, and the system images. Great. If you're a founder or business owner watching this, here's the honest truth. Building an app isn't about features. It's about what users do after they install it. As a developer, we design and build iOS apps that feel native, ship fast, and are engineered for retention from day one. No bloated dashboards, no over-designed flows, just clean SwiftUI. Clear user journeys and subtle interactions that guide behavior. The same principles you saw in this onboarding. If that's the kind of app you want to build, you can book a private call at developer.com/private call. The link is down in the description. Let's build something that actually gets you. So what we are going to have here, let me just go to the simulator. We're going to have a top bar over here, the content, some dots over here, which will represent basically the progress of our onboarding, and the bottom bar with the continue button. So let's just take it from top to bottom. I'm going to create the top bar first. So that will be, well, let's just put it before the body, because then the body is going to have everything. After the pages, I'm going to add a private var top bar. It's going to be some view, and this will be a horizontal stack. As you can see, it's a horizontal stack right over here. It has the back button, the skip button, so it will be an H stack, and those two buttons will appear at certain cases. So on the first one, it's not, the back button will not appear, the skip button will. On the second one, and till the last one, I'm not including the last one, we have both of them, and then we just have the back at the last one. So here's the logic for that. If index is larger than 0, then we are going to add the back button. So a button with the title of back, and we are going to have in action, let's go with a with animation. And we are going to have dot a spring, there we go. And then we are going to set the index to -=1. I'm just adding it with the animation. You will see that on the bottom dots that it's just going to be a really nice animation. And also, we are going to have a tab bar, and then the scrolling of the tab bar will be actually with an animation, just going to scroll, not just jump to the previous slide. Okay. Then we're going to have a spacer. Let me just have a little bit more room over here. So spacer, and then another if statement. So if index is less than pages dot count -1, that's right. We are going to have another button. Let me just copy this out and paste it in there, which will be skip. There we go. With animation, with a string, and then the index will be just going to the last one, right? So index equals pages.count -1. Okay, that's fine. Then we are going to add in some fonts. So let's just have a font of dot headline and a padding, just to be nice. Great. Now it's time to build the page view. So we covered our top bar. Now the page view. Basically, this is a vertical stack. We have some spacers over here, top and bottom, and then the content itself. So let's build it out, and you can see it inside the code. So with this one, we are going to need a view builder because we are going to add in different views inside this page view. So at view builder, private func page view, and we are going to pass along the page, which is our onboarding page, and then that will return some view. There we go. And right over here, let's add our vstack. So I told you vstack. Let's have a spacing of 18. I found that really nice, but of course you can just change it if you want to. Let's add those two spacers. So spacer, and let's just have that duplicated. There we go. We have two spacers. Right over here, let's add the image and the two texts. So let's start off with the image, and that will be a system named image, and then that will be our page dot system image. Okay, that will have a font of system size. Yeah, this looks nice. Let's just go for 60, what I have chosen, and semi-bold. You can just change this if you like. And then dot symbol rendering mode dot hierarchical. And now it's time to add those two texts, the title and the subtitle. So we are going to have a title, yes, and then let's have a font. You can just go with a large title if you choose to. I'm just going to go with another system size and weight. So let's just have both of them. So 34, weight. Let's just, sorry, not the weight over there. We're just going to have dot bold. And design, the default one is just perfectly fine. And then the other one, that is another text of the subtitle dot font of system size again. So system size, let's just go with 17 and the weight of medium. And then we also need to have a foreground style of secondary on this one and a multi-line text alignment of center. And then some padding. So padding dot horizontal of 12. Okay, so basically that's it. By the way, I'm just using the foreground style of secondary and no foreground style on any of these because this also works really nicely on dark mode, as you can see. So let me just put that back into a light mode. Great. Now it's time to talk about the bottom bar. The bottom bar basically has these progress pills, which I'm going to create first, and then we're just going to add this continue button. So next up comes the progress pills. Private var progress pills. Some view again, some view, and yeah, this will be a little bit complicated, but once I just type it out, you will understand how that animation works. So let's just type it out, and we can just talk about it as we do it. So we're going to have an H stack with a spacing of not 16 but 8, and we're going to go through all of the pages indices. So for each pages dot indices, and for this you also need to set the ID to self, so self, because these are just indices, and we're going to have an index in. Okay, so what I'm going to add in here is a capsule with a frame, and this is where kind of the magic of the animation comes in. We're going to have the one with a width, and we're going to have some sort of a logic. If the I, so if the I equals the index that we have, yes, right over there, of the index, the index of the on the onboarding view, then the width will be 22, otherwise it will be 8. So basically this long one is 22, this short one, kind of the actual dot over here is 8. And then the height, we are going to set it to 8. Height is just 8. So the capsule will be a circle. And then let's just have some animation. So animation dot spring, and the value, not the body, but the value will be our index. So whenever we change the index, the animation on this capsule will be of type string. And then a foreground style, you can just leave it as is, but I really like secondary, and we're going to add a little bit of opacity on the non-selected ones. So I just have a foreground style and dot secondary, and let's just have an opacity I equals the index, then it's 1, otherwise 0.35. Okay, and also let's just have a padding on the top, padding dot top, and we'll just have 4, just to have a little bit of padding on the progress pills. Great. So now we can use these progress pills on the bottom bar. Finally, we are going, before we construct everything, we need to create our bottom bar. Private var bottom bar. Again, some view. Okay, let's have a vertical stack with a spacing of 14, and here's our content. First of all, we add the progress pills and then our button. So let's have that button. Let's just have the one at this stage with the action and label. Let's take care of the label first, and then we're going to talk about the action. So the label, it's a text, and it's basically going to change to get started if we are on the last slide. So let's come back over here. If the index is less than the pages dot count -1, so it's less than the actual last one. It's not next, but it's just get started, and then continue over here. Continue. Okay, let's add some styling. So we're going to have a font of .headline, frame of max width infinity, and then let's have also a vertical padding, vertical of 14. So that makes sure that the button is just all the way to the sides and has a little bit height with a vertical padding. And finally, we want to add some button styles, button style, and that will be a bordered prominence. So it's this blue one, as you can see, and also the shape. So otherwise it would be a capsule one, a button border shape, and let's have a rounded rectangle with a radius of 16. That's what I found to be really, really nice. And also, let's just have here a padding. Okay, now that we have our top bar, our progress pills, and our bottom bar, and also the main thing, the page views, now it's time to construct everything into our body. So what we are going to do is just have a simple vertical stack. Let me just go and show you right over here. So top bar, our contents, and then the bottom bar. So let's create our VStack instead of our hello world VStack. And maybe just scroll a little bit up. We're going to have a top bar. There we go. And then our bottom bar. Great. And between those, I'm going to have a tab view with a selection of that index. So $sign index in, come on, $sign index. And then our content. Before I jump into the content, I want to set the tab view style to be .page, and not just page. I want to remove the index display mode. We already created our own. So index display mode .never. And right over here, I'm going to go through all of the pages with the for each. Pages, let's just go with an indices because we do need to tag them. So on the skip and the back, it knows what to do. So pages instead of just pages, we're just going to go pages.indices. We're going to also add the ID as it's suggested. We're going to add, instead of page, an index. And then instead of this text, I'm just going to have the page view for the pages at I, so that one page, and I'm just going to tag it. This is not the task, but tag. This is basically why we want to have the indices, so we can tag those page views. Okay, and basically that's it. Let's recap. We created our onboarding page model. The view consists of the pages, the top bar, then the page views, progress pills, which are inside the bottom bar, which also contains, the button. I forgot to talk about the action on the button. Oh, good thing that I made a recap. So we're going to have a with animation .spring and the actual content of the animation. Now, if index is less than the pages .count -1, then the index is going to be counted up. Otherwise, we are going to say did finish onboarding equals true. Okay, and then you can just take it from there inside your application. Okay, so I think everything is done now. Inside the body, we just compounded all of this. So let's just select one of our simulators and let's build and run and see basically kind of the same thing that you already saw. Let's just see. There we go. Build faster. Let's just, okay. For some reason, we don't have the actual skip button over here. We're going to get back to that and we're going to debug it. There we go. And then back. Let's just tap on back. It looks really nice. What about the skip? That works really nice. And then get started. Oh, and also not get started, continue. Two bugs that I noticed, so let's fix those. Let's take care of the continue first. So basically we just want to switch these. So get started. Let me just copy that out and paste it over there. Okay. And then the other bug was that on the first page, we just don't have the skip button. So for that, we need to go up to the top bar and let me just see on the index, on the second if statement, we want to say if index, let's just see if index is less than the pages count. We want, okay, I found the bug. Basically, I added the if inside the if. So let's just have it right over there. And also the spacer should be moved between those two if statements. There we go. Now, finally, we can build one final time and the skip button should be right over there. Let's just see, there is our skip button. We can just skip all the way back and just go back, and then continue is the right button over here. And this is also scrollable. Really, really nice. And if you did like this tutorial about onboarding screens, I do these quite a lot inside my business apps. If you want me to build you a business app, go ahead and check out the first link in the description.